So like I said yesterday, I was going to make a video about my job, but then I realized how much I actually have to say about my job, so I'm going to break it down. Here's the first one. Probably going to be a chain of videos of why the restaurant industry sucks, and maybe a few reasons why it's kind of cool.
Don't worry, that's not the actual name of the show, just this one.
Alright, here we go with the first edition of I'm Your Server, Not Your Servant. So the first thing I want to address is the largest issue in the serving industry. Tipping. Now it's clear and obvious why it's important, because that's how I make money. If I don't get good tips, I can't pay my bills and I don't eat. Some people don't fully grasp the concept of tipping. So let me explain some things to you. I've heard the concept of tipping actually comes from biblical times. There were people put in charge of distributing the donated food to the poor. The people that took this job were paid very poorly. So it became custom to compensate these people for their horrible wages. It's evolved a lot over the years. Some people say the word comes from the Middle English word meaning to gift. But what I always like to say means is that classic phrase, to ensure promptness, or to ensure prompt service. Get it? T-I-P-S, tips. Yeah. To ensure prompt. Yeah. No. See, back in the day when class existed, ouch. If you went into a restaurant, you would tip the server ahead of time. That way he could give you the level of service that you paid for. So if you walk in and give him a couple dollars, you get a couple dollars worth of service. But you walk in and drop a hundo on the table, you treated like a freaking king. Now I don't know when this changed to the tip being taken care of after the meal. I imagine it was about the time when credit cards came out and everything was just easier to take care of at the end. But it kind of sucks. People look at a tip as something optional, and I can see that, I really can. It definitely started that way and is still that way in many places, but not in America. At this point, it's not optional, it's a requirement. Let me explain something to all you people that don't tip well. I'm sure that a lot of you figure, oh, I'm sure he's making minimum wage, so all I gotta do is leave a couple extra dollars on my $100 tab and he'll be good. That's not the case. I don't make minimum wage. As a matter of fact, I don't make half of minimum wage. I make $2.13 an hour. Let me say that again. I make $2.13 an hour. After all the taxes are taken out of my paycheck, I don't even see a paycheck. No, seriously, I haven't seen a paycheck in years. I don't get paid. So that $2 you left me after me taking care of you for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, is all the money that I made while you were sitting there. Are you starting to see why this can be frustrating? Also, there's this thing called tip out. Now, there are other people in the restaurant that help me out with things. For example, the bartender makes the alcoholic drinks when you order them. So by the way, when it takes 10 minutes to get your daiquiri, sorry, not my fault. There are hostesses. Those are the ones that seat you. Then there are food runners and backwaits. They do things like, well, run the food from the kitchen to your table, but also everything in the back that needs to be done. Like they make teas, they clean up some messes, they're just a big help. And I have to pay them. Yeah, me. The company pays them below minimum wage as well, and then I have to fill up the rest for them. Most of the time it's about 2.5 or 3% of the food you sell for the backwaits, and then about 5% of the alcohol for the bartenders. That means if you rack up a $100 tab and then stiff me, I have to pay for you to come sit in my section. Somewhere between $4 and $8 normally. That's not okay with me. Are you starting to see why tipping is important and required? Okay, enough about explaining. How can you do the right thing and make sure I can afford to have dinner tonight? Now, I can only speak from where I live, and that's Atlanta. Atlanta, baby, A-Town! Now, I understand things are slightly different on the West Coast, but I can't go by that. I can only go by what I know. Here, 20% of your bill means that you enjoyed yourself and had good service. 18% means you had average service. Not horrible, but not great. 15% means that you didn't really appreciate the service that you got. Between 10 and 15% means that you hated your waiter. 10% and below means your server is the scum of the earth and you hope that he dies in the fiery pits of... You get the idea. As far as I know, when you stiff somebody, you die in a horrible crash on the way home. I don't know, it's just what I heard. Again, I know that some places tipping is optional and other places 10% is like, good tip. Not here. The way I look at it, anything 15% and below is a serious insult to me. Why, you don't hate me? Then why did you give me $4 on your $40 check? Because you hate me. No? Oh, it must just be because you're a cheap and horrible person that loves to see people starve to death. Now, there are definitely times when I think a server deserves a little bit less of a tip. There are such things as lazy servers. I work with some of them. But these are not some of those reasons. My food wasn't good, and it took forever to get to the table, too. It's kind of shocking to me, but a lot of people actually think that your server prepares and cooks the food. No. So if it doesn't come out just the way you want it, I'm sorry, but that's not my fault. It's the kitchen's fault. Let your server know and we can fix it. We will go tell our kitchen and they will make you that extra well done steak when it only came out extra well done the first time. Not a reason to punish your server. We didn't get taken care of like we wanted to be. Now this is one of those that's kind of on a fine line. Because like I said, there are lazy servers out there. But when I'm taking care of 5 other tables at the same time that I'm taking care of you, I am sorry if it takes an extra 30 seconds for me to get you your Diet Coke. But keep in mind that I'm getting 3 other Diet Cokes, 2 regular Cokes, 3 lemonades, 2 sweet teas, and 4 glasses of wine, all at the same time that I'm trying to get you your Diet Coke. Yet again, not a reason to punish your server. I don't like the look of this place. Yeah, because I sat up all night and decorated it just so you wouldn't like it. Not a reason to punish the server. The wait took forever to get our food. The prices are too expensive. It's too loud in here. There's a guy over there that looks funny, and my Coke isn't cokey enough. These are all not reasons to punish your server. They have nothing to do with the service. They have nothing to do with anything that I have any control over. Let your server know how you feel. We'll grab a manager, and we'll fix the situation. Unless you're just a cheap douchebag that tries to get things for free even though everything was great. Then you can just go home. I don't want you here. Thanks! Alright, this video is getting too long, but you can see how passionate I am about this. So that's it for now. I'm probably going to continue this chain later, something else involving the restaurant industry, but I had to get that off my chest. And remember, if you can't afford to leave a good tip, I'm sorry, you can't afford to eat there. Cliche YouTube phrase. Comment, resubscribe.